Is librarian your publicist? No, absolutely. Almost like an anti-publicist, but in a good way. I think the way I look at librarian is that like they're a representation of the community, the state of the community, both for better and for worse. So they take the POG bits and distill them down into a POG video that is more easily digestible than 5 hours of unfiltered garbage. That's a service that I'm very, very grateful for. But then also, sometimes in the chat, they're saying some seriously degenerate stuff. Or talking about, you know, eating 3 Subway footlong sandwiches for absolutely no, just because I mentioned it as like an offhand sort of joke. So there's a little, it's chaotic. It's chaotic, maybe even chaotic good, but let's say chaotic neutral. Because I don't want them to get a big head. Man who talks about cum all the time. This other guy is a degenerate. Hey, maybe you should look deep within yourself and find out why you feel it's degeneracy to talk about reproduction. I didn't grow up in a fundamentalist environment. I grew up where, you know, there's kind of like open season with asking honest questions about stuff like that. And as a result, maybe I don't find it as disgusting as you have been conditioned to. But that's not really my problem, honestly. This seems like it's more your problem. Poop, piss, cum, lymph, all these fluids, they ain't nothing to me, man. It's just another thing leaking out of our holes, okay? Our body's making them all the time. I'm not like, it's not like I'm going to bed and I'm like, hey, make cum tomorrow. Make cum tomorrow. Like hey, brain, can you forward a message to my balls? Make some cum tomorrow. This shit's just happening all the time, right? We're not the people in charge of making the fluids. We're the victim, if anything, and we're all crushed under the same boot, okay? And now we're not even allowed to joke about it. You know what you are? You're the damn inmate who's like, the guards are actually pretty nice guys. We can't even make a joke anymore. Make it make sense, bro. Almost all bodily fluids are funny. The only one that's not funny, like almost all the time, is blood. Let me explain why. Let's do some comedy mathematics. If I said there was blood in my poop this morning, how would you react? You would probably hit me with a Monka S. Now, what if I said there was cum in my poop this morning? You would be posting lulls, kek W's, and I can'ts until the cows come home. Pog U's. That's how I know cum is funnier than blood. Now, piss, I don't know, because piss has an advantage, because it's also, piss is a funny word, because it ends on that, it's like a cymbal hit. Ding, 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I don't know, there was cum in my shit this morning is a funny statement, but there was piss in my shit this morning is also funny, because it just seems like, I mean, like it's fairly easy to figure out how cum ended up in my shit, but it's hard to figure out how piss ended up in my shit, unless it's someone else's piss. That's not where that's supposed to be. So I don't know. We have to do some more research. We're going to have to, anybody here doing their PhD in gross out humor right now? I've got a project for you. You have a weird brain? No, honestly, I might have the only good brain. Don't care, didn't ask. Plus, you think puns are funny. Your favorite subreddit is like SpongeBob memes. We're breaking new ground here, and you're welcome to come along whether you're ready for it or not. Who taught computers how to read binary? That's like another thing that'll fuck with you. When I went to programming school, everybody was like, programmers are smart. Bro, you like, relax. You're not smart if you know how to program. The next step is like, you know who's really smart? The people that made the language that you're programming in. You're like, that motherfucker must have been a genius. But then you realize that even that dude, he's like way smarter than the average person who's writing code in that language. But like, how did that motherfucker, how was he able to make the language? There's like another dude with an even longer, grayer beard who's like, I can talk to machines. Like that, at some point you get back, like when you're programming, You're like, I'm typing kind of in English. I'm like, computer, do this. And the computer's like, okay, master. And you're like, I'm so smart. No, you're not. You just typed what to do and the thing did it. At some level, there was a dude that was like, he's taking your instructions and he's turning it into ones and zeros that the computer can understand. But how does the computer know what to do with the ones and zeros, man? It's just rocks. Like, you actually have to be a wizard, I think, to understand that level of computing. Like, I'm starting to think that this Alan Turing guy was like really smart. Dude legitimately cracked like the Nazi code, the computer the size of a damn like cruise ship. Dude was just putting glass jars into it and then being like, look, come back in 300 days. Let's see if this one worked. Dude, to crack that, can you imagine? Oh, how do we crack this code? Here's what we're gonna do. Here's 64 glass jars. Let's put them in. Shovel some coal into the motherfucker and then come back in 2 days? This shit probably spat out like a 300 character alphanumeric string, and then they needed like another genius to look at it and be like, no, this isn't quite right. That's crazy, man. And I know how he feels because this is the perfect name, the Bald Scholars. I'm also being persecuted for my radical genius. I'm talking about piss and shit and cum, and people are like, shut up, or I'm gonna beat you up. And I'm like, I don't know how to be anything else. This is just how I am. And you're basically saying completely change who you are as at a fundamental level, or we're gonna fight you. Come on, man. You basically got it. I'm not saying I'm as smart as Alan Turing, but I'm saying his computational genius is analogous to my scatological humor acumen, okay? I would never debase Alan Turing and compare us. I would simply say that in two very specific domains, we are equals. Is this shit funny in Canada? It's like the most devastating comment I've ever gotten. Holy, hang on. I respect it, but I am going to bring up your profile. Bob, not a builder. Let's see. Following for 6 years. 600 messages in chat. Let's see, but is this could be when you, like, because sometimes people watch for like 5 years, and then they think that I've changed and that makes them mad, but actually, like, they're dealing with something in their personal life that's causing it to spill over. Let me see. No, well, you were leaving some messages in July. Some messages about SAP. Dude, I was watching on mute, WTF, this guy going on about. I had a flawless, my best unit was a mosquito. It just seems like a fairly normal chatter, except for when I was streaming with AOC. But I mean, the pandemic was a different time, you know? I'm not going to hold anybody responsible for what they were saying during the pandemic necessarily. If they're still saying it now, like, you really got to sort that shit out. But kind of everyone went a little bit crazy. It only seemed to slip into a state of permanent insanity for like 15% of the population forever. Swedish Aladdin. I can show you the fjords. Colt Boulard with lingonberries. Henrik Daniel Sundin Elias Pettersson. Matt Sundin, a whole new world. Sorry.